Nowadays, it seems that you can generate hundreds of slides all in just a few clicks with AI. And there's a lot of buzz going around the Claude AI by Anthropic nowadays. Now, this is a very powerful model that can do a lot of things in the coding community, and I'm also curious of what it can do with actual slide creation, because that seems to be one of the things that they've just launched. So that is why I want to put it to the test and see what professional results we can achieve, and also how user-friendly it is, because we don't just want a one-shot presentation, we want to actually have usable materials that we can adjust and turn to our hands. Hey, my name is Sander, I'm a Microsoft PowerPoint MVP, and I teach people like you become an expert in PowerPoint. I have over 10 years of experience making professional slides, so I kind of want to put these tools and these new AI tools to the test and really see what we can generate and if the results are actually professional. So let's go to Claude.ai and see what we can generate there. So here we are in the free model. So I'm not using any paid model for this, I'm just using the free version. You go to Claude.ai and this opens up the chat window that we know from all the other AI tools. It's very similar to ChatGPT, but this one is a slightly different model. Now instantly I got a little pop-up here with the new model, new features all for free. Sonnet 4.6 is the model that we're going to test, and here is what really caught my eye. It's create polished docs, spreadsheets, slides and more. So we're going to put that to the test to see how the slides turn out and how user-friendly those are. So I'm going to close that, and then we're going to look at the prompt that we're going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a very simple prompt. I'm not going into detail into this video, I just want to see what the output is. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a presentation about my landscaping business, so just a fictitious business to see what it does. I need about 7 slides to present my company to potential investors, and then the file should be a PowerPoint or a PPTX file. Then I'm going to use that Sonnet 4.6 model, and I'm going to run the query here. I'm going to run the prompt. And then you can see in real time, it's actually thinking, it's sort of getting the information and all bundling it together. And then it's also looking into creating that PowerPoint file. So it mentions that now it has everything it needs. Let me build a presentation with professional green nature palette, perfect for landscaping business. This is already a good sign because all of the other tools that I've tested like Copilot or ChatGPT, they go for a very generic text-only business. And these are the slides or these previews I've seen, they actually create some really nice results. So I'm curious to see what they come up with and if they actually apply branding or come up with some sort of a visual style. And then I think later on, at a later stage, we will try to sort of apply our own branding to it, maybe give some directions on the colors, give some directions on the fonts or how we want the layouts to be. So I'm very curious of what we can do in there. And now it seems to be creating the landscaping. I think if you click it, you can actually see it code in real time. So that's pretty cool. So you can see what's happening here. It's creating the layouts. That's pretty nice. Also getting some color palette in. So that's really looking promising, like forest, moss, cream, dark, gray, charcoal. It's creating some really cool stuff here. So you see, it's really trying to slide 2, slide 3. It's creating those slides in real time and doing it all with code. So it's a totally different approach than working in PowerPoint directly. It's cool to see how it happens behind the scenes. And I think this really shows how that model thinks, or how these different models think. If some just generate text, others really think in terms of code and structure. So that is why, and I think we'll see that when we open the file, that the structure underlying is super important. Some of them might not have it, but if we want to have our clear structure, our slide master in place, that is how it communicates with PowerPoint. So that's what we want to achieve. All right, now it seems to be done. So overall, it took about 4 minutes to generate this. And then here we can see it actually generating something on the right side. Let's see, here's your 7-slide investor pitch deck. And we can see it appear on the right side. So I'm going to put that on full screen. So that already looks pretty good. So now I'm going to jump into PowerPoint, the PowerPoint file that is generated, PPTX file. So that is already looking promising. Now, if we go to the overview, I'll just put it on the overview here. And then zoom in a little bit so we get an overview of the different slides. This is actually not looking bad at all, especially if you compare it to the other generations that we've done. This looks pretty cool. So we have the title slide, opportunity, services, traction and milestones, sort of an infographic even, that is pretty solid. Business model, we have some graphs like user the funds and then a theme. So let's have a look at this slide deck from a few point of views. First of all, we're going to look at it from a design perspective, and then we're going to look at it from a more technical perspective, how we can use it in a professional way. So we're going to compare both of those and then see how good it actually is. So from a design point of view, I think this actually looks pretty good and it generates some slides. So here we can see the title slide. We can see the opportunities or problem opportunity, our services in a really cool card design. So we get these 6 cards with text, with icons, with some hierarchy, also some colored ones. I think that's really good. Then we have a infographic sort of style slide. And I think this one, honestly, it looks better than what the majority of people will generate in PowerPoint. This would take quite some time to get it right, to manually align it, get your data in. It would take quite some time, so I think this is really cool. Next, we have some business model slides with a lot of numbers on the slide, which is not bad. We have some fonts or chart and some boxes here. Again, it's not using bullet points, it's really formatting them in some sort of a card design, which is really nice. And then at the team, we have 4 people in the backend, where we have some initials matching with the name, but that is all manual formatting, so we don't have image placeholders, but the design in itself I think looks pretty cool. So we have those 4 boxes, description, we have the name, job description, and then some sort of text below it. Now overall, if we compare the slides, we have a clean, consistent look and feel. So we're using that consistent color, which is really nice. We have some accent colors that are also consistent. The fonts are in place. We have everything that looks quite decent for a slide, especially for the work that we've put in. I mean, this is just a result of 2 lines, 2 sentences, where I asked it to make a pitch deck of 7 slides about a landscaping business. I didn't give it any more information. This is what it came up with. I think that is absolutely impressive. Nothing to say about that. Also, the design, pretty solid. I can't complain about the design here, especially for the work. It's like 4 minutes or less to generate these 7 slides. That is pretty cool. So from a design perspective, I think it does a really good job. I would give this like a 6 out of 10. It's not the most groundbreaking results. We also don't have any visuals, but the structure is there. There's some hierarchy on the slide. It's a clean slide. It's a modern slide. They work with a solid color. There's nothing to be said about that. I think this looks better than what most people will generate in PowerPoint. It is one shot. You can still update. That is really nice. So it's updatable. You can make adjustments to the text. You can make adjustments to the layouts. So that is pretty good. Now, besides the design, of course, we have to look at the usability of the deck. And for a lot of people, it might just be, I need just a few slides. It's a one shot for a pitch deck or a presentation I'm going to do. Then it might actually be fine. But if you want to use this in your professional life, if you actually want to build upon this, create multiple slides, make changes, then we might run into some issues. So that's why we're also going to look at this slide deck from a more professional point of view, see how it is built up and what we can actually achieve with it and how we can scale it in our company. All right, so for that, we're just going to look at the basics here. And the first thing you want to check is, are they using any layouts? And this for me is a bit of a red flag if you want to use it in a professional way, because if you look at the layout that they're using, there's no layouts. So if we go to View, Slide Master, the model has removed everything from the Slide Master and the slide layouts. So this is already giving us a sign that this is all manual front-end build. So there's no structure in the backend to sort of keep things together. We could also see that if we look at any of the shapes here, they're all loose shapes. So that means this is all built in the front end. You can override the text, that is nice. But again, if we look at the text here, there's also no labels. So there's no theme fonts being used. It's using trebuchet font. You can easily change it to Poppins. But if you want to change everything to that, to your company font, for example, you would have to do that in a manual way. If I go to View Slide Master and apply fonts, let's say I want to have that Poppins fair, you see that in the front end, nothing has changed. So everything is still that original font that it used. So that is a pain point that it has to be done all in a manual way. So nothing is linked to the backend. Same goes for the colors. I think if we select one of the objects, we can see it's using that standard color palette of PowerPoint. Let's say we want to include our own colors and we change it to, for example, this one here, and we go to the front end, nothing has changed. So that entire green look and feel, which looks nice, but if you want to have your own brand colors to it, you're gonna be in for a bad time. So you want to change this and you have to do that manually for all of the different blocks. So that is a bit the downside of not having any structure in place. That's one of the first things. So if you want to have your branding to that, you can't really work with that. Now, another thing is if you want to make modifications. So here, for example, we have these card designs, which look really nice. But let's say in a realistic setting, we have 6 points here and we want to make it 7, we want to make it 8, however many we like. What has to be done is you have to do a lot of manual formatting. So you would have to start and reposition everything. You would have to do all that manual tweaking to get those extra shapes in. And you see, to get those extra ones in, you would have to sort of shrink it down by quite a lot. And that is not the most time efficient way to create those sort of slides. And this is why PowerPoint becomes very boring very fast. You see there's no sort of structure on how to make that look and fit in a nice way. That is not a very nice thing to do. So that is what we want to avoid when we make presentations. So this is a bit of a pain point that you'll probably run into. Now, of course, this might depend on the use case that you have. If you want to add multiple points here, if you want to remove some stuff, you can do that. But you're always going to end up with that manual reformatting, with that manual adjusting. So that is a bit of a downside that we have here. What I do really like is that it has integrated some Excel files into it. So we can see that if I click on those, I can edit the data in Excel. So if I change this 1500 and I change that to 2000, press enter, you'll see it will live change the data in the Excel. So that is a really good sign that it's using the Excel data and it's not using manual formatted charts for that. Now, another thing, if we look at some practical point of view, let's say your boss asks like, hey, I want to add an extra slide. We're going to add a new slide and you're always going to start from a blank slide. So there's no preset layouts. There's nothing that we can add to it. So let's say we want to add our picture, and I'm just going to add some pictures here, images, and do landscaping. And I'm just going to add like 2-3 images to the slide. And then I'm going to shrink it. There we go. So this is how most people make their presentations, and you start from a blank slide. It takes you a lot of time. You have to think about the design, you have to think about the layouting, and that's going to be very time consuming and cost you a lot of time to get a good looking presentation. There's always these design suggestions on top, but also for that, it all depends on your slide master. So you see they're not bad, but these are the generic styles from PowerPoint. So if you want to add some content to it, it might actually take quite some time to get good looking slides and good looking designs out of it. So if you have a slide master in place that has those designs, that has that flexibility, this will save you so much, or it will actually save you so much more time. And that is something which we don't have if you don't have a slide master. Same for this here. If you look at that and select one of the slides, you don't get any design suggestions. So it can't really read what is on the slide. And that is a little bit of a pain point here. Now, again, I don't think it's a bad presentation at all, but user friendliness, this might not be the best. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the design in the front end. But if we look at the back end, that is where it really starts to fall apart. And that doesn't mean it's a bad presentation. It's not a bad deck, but it will give you a lot of headaches in the future if you try to update things, if you want to try to add things or remove things, change the colors, change the branding. That will give you a lot of manual effort. So that is something we have to be mindful of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, if you have a template, for example, a good template that has been set up with a solid basis, how you can actually prevent those things and how you can get that content from your slides, from the AI generated slides, put it into your content, into your template, and sort of build up on that, but with speed. So for that, we're going to look at these sliders. We have Greenscape Pro and then the subtitle. So I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to jump into a template. Now, this is one of my templates that I have with hundreds of different slide layouts, but all built in a solid way. So we can see this is purple. Let's say AI generated that and we want to change that. Well, we can easily go to Slide Master. We go to Colors, we change it, and that accent color, well, maybe we want to have a specific green color here for our deck, and we want to have that accent color, want to have a lighter green somewhere like this. Let's say those are our brand colors, and we call that brand Greenscape, and press enter. And we can see already the colors are now changing. So we have that solidness, we have that robustness in our presentation. Here we have our title. If I just add new slides, for example, title slide, and I type in, what was it, Greenscape Pro, and then we add in our subtitle, there we have it. Then we go to design, insert, icons, let's go to images and landscaping, and then let's say we want to have one of those. So we just put that in, and you see it automatically fills into the placeholder. Now this might not, it's just one of the templates that I have, it might not be the exact one for you, but this, I just want to show you how it works. So if you ever want to make updates to this, you can easily change the layouts. If, for example, another side, you can change it to like top heavy, you can change it to like maybe on the side. So you see how that flexibility is built into a template, and that is because you have a solid layout. You have different layouts on your slide, you have different placeholders that you could use. And that is something, if you go to this one, now of course the colors, they're totally different. That's irrelevant. You can see how it works behind the scenes. So same goes for example, the team pictures. If we have, let's say, a team of 4 here, that works. But if we have, maybe you want to add a 5th one, then you have to do that manual shifting. If you have to go for a 3rd or just do 3 of the people, you have to do that manual shifting. What happens here is if you have a template and you have these layouts that actually work for you, you can see we have, for example, have this here, and we just drag in our pictures. You can see how they automatically fill into place. So let's say meet the team. And now let's say we want to add an extra person. Well, we can always go to design suggestions. And because we have that solid template, we have that solid slide master, it will actually give us suggestions that make sense. So want to add an extra person? No problem. You want to put them to the side. You want to add like an extra team with multiple layers. You want to go for 6 people, 5 people, put them in a different format. All of those things are working in your favor. So you don't have to do that manual changes, and you don't have to do that manual tweaking. And that is by understanding how the underlying structure of PowerPoint works, and it will start to really work for you. So that way, if you go to Slide Master, you want to change the fonts, you want to do it to, I'm going to take an extreme example. Don't mind the look and feel, so Cambria. So everything is with that serif font. And you can see the entire presentation is now in that Cambria font. So that is what we want to achieve. And that just makes it so much easier for us to maintain that presentation. If you want to change the colors, you don't like them anymore, or you want to go for a darker version, well, you can just update it like this. Boom. And your entire deck has that darker look and feel. So that is how a template could actually work. Of course, these are not one-on-one matches, but you get the idea behind it. Now, of course, these are just examples to sort of show you what it could look like in backend. You want to build that for yourself. You want to build that robust system for yourself. And then you can just use AI to generate like maybe an outline of your script. You can transform that into the template, or you can take that content and put it into the template. And that's just going to make your life so much easier. You don't want to do all that manual tweaking in the template itself, because that's going to give you so much headache, that it's going to give you so much manual work in the future, especially if you work in a corporate presentation. Now, again, if you just want a one-off presentation, just a one-off slide that you want to pitch and you have like a few minutes, go for it. I mean, it's way better than just slapping something together yourself in PowerPoint. So I'm all for that, and I'm really pro for that. But just keep in mind that if you want to work in a professional way, the Slide Master is the way to go. If you want to learn more about the Slide Master, watch the video on the screen right now.